As well as my 4mm crochet hook, and I used a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors, as well as my clover pom-pom maker. I used 100% cotton yarn, red, and then a sparkle metallic white. For the hat, you're going to start with the white colored yarn. Just fold it over on itself to form a loop. I'm using my 4mm crochet hook. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for a slip knot. Now you're going to make a chain of 40. I'm just going to show you 4 of them. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 40, and then after you made your chain of 40, go ahead and hold that last stitch with your middle finger and thumb. Now you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. Just yarn over, go into that 4th chain from the hook, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2. Now you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. So 1 double crochet, just yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2. So you're going to finish making 1 double crochet in every stitch back across, and then come back. This is how your work should look so far. Now you can go ahead and fold it in half. Make sure it's not twisted. You want to form a circle. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made. So here you can see I have a chain. Here's the first chain. I'll show you with the tapestry needle. So here you have your first chain, the middle chain, which is the second, and then the third chain. So you're going to go into that top stitch or third chain with your crochet hook. So just take your crochet hook, go into that top stitch, then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Now you can go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, take that bottom loose yarn end, put it onto your tapestry needle, and then you're just going to join the bottom. So take that bottom stitch of that first chain 3 that you made and join the bottom. So you're just going to tie a knot into that bottom stitch, and that'll join the bottom, forming a ring. And then just leave the loose yarn end. We'll bury that later. So you can see how I have a perfect ring for the brim of the hat. You want the right side facing you, and then you're going to go into the next stitch over, for a single crochet, just bring up a loop, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. Then you're going to go into the same stitch, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 4 loops, and then chain 1. And we completed 1 trinity stitch. Now you're going to go into the same stitch you just finished, bring up a loop, next stitch, bring up a loop, next stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 4, chain 1, and repeat. So you're going to do this all the way around back to your first trinity stitch. I'll make one more with you. So go ahead, finish making your round of trinity stitches, and then come back. So now I'm back to where I started. I have one more trinity stitch left. So I'm going to go into the last stitch that I made my trinity stitch, bring up my second loop. Now I'm going into the next stitch. Now here I have 2 stitches near the end. I'm going to skip one and go to the one right before my chain 1 on my previous row's trinity stitch. So you want your 4th loop to be in that chain 1 space of the previous row's trinity stitch, and then make your last trinity stitch. And before you chain 1 on that last trinity stitch, we're going to change colors. So now you can bring in your red yarn, bring up a loop, and then chain 1. Then you can take and cut the previous colored yarn. Make sure you leave a long enough loose yarn end for tying a knot and burying into your work. And then go ahead and just tie a knot. Now you're ready to start your round with the red yarn. So I'm going to make one more chain 1. Make sure I have a good chain 1 space to work in when I come back around. Then I'm going to start by going into the same chain 1 space that I just finished with and bring up a loop. Go into the next space and bring up a loop, and then go into the chain 1 space of the previous round's trinity stitch to bring up my 4th loop. Then you can chain 1 and repeat. So every time you start in the space that you just finished a trinity stitch, and then your 4th loop that you bring up should fall into the chain 1 space of the previous row's trinity stitch. Go ahead and finish repeating this pattern all the way around back to the beginning, and then come back. This is how my work looks so far. You could see the beautiful stitch that it creates all the way around. Now I'm making my last stitch to start working in rounds. So I'm going to go into the chain 1 space that I just finished a trinity stitch, bring up a loop, next stitch, bring up a loop, and then that should bring me to the chain 1 space of the previous round's trinity stitch to bring up my 4th loop and make my trinity stitch, and then you just keep repeating. So each of my 4th loops will fall on the previous round's trinity stitch. And then you're going to continue repeating this pattern until you've completed 7 rounds. So 7 rounds of trinity stitches, and then I finished 7 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you can take a yarn marker, place it right where you left off. We're going to make one round of decrease trinity stitches. So you're going to go back into the same stitch that you just finished your trinity stitch, just like you did before. You're going to bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space of the previous round's trinity stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 4 for a decrease stitch. Now you are not going to chain 1, so no chain 1. You're going to go into the same stitch that you just finished and bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, next stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 4 for a decrease. No chain 1. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. And so what you're doing is, without your chain 1, you're decreasing the number of stitches for this round. So go ahead, finish repeating this pattern all the way around without a chain 1, and then come back. Now I'm back to my yarn marker. This is what my work looks like so far. Now you can move your yarn marker up to where you left off. You're going to take your crochet hook, go into the stitch, the same stitch that you just finished your trinity stitch, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, next stitch, bring up a loop, then yarn over and go through all 4 and then chain 1. So now you're going to make your trinity stitches with a chain 1 all the way around, and you're going to continue making regular trinity stitches with the chain 1 for 4 rounds, and then come back. I just finished 4 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I made one more, 5 rounds. So you can make 4 to 5 rounds, however long that you want the length of your Santa hat. Then go ahead and take and move your yarn marker up to where you left off, and you're going to make a decrease round. So you're going to go into the same stitch that you just finished, your last trinity stitch, and just like you did your last decrease round, you're going to bring up your 4 loops, then yarn over and go through all 4, but no chain 1, and then just repeat all the way around for just 1 round. So no chain 1, exactly the same, but just no chain 1. And then repeat this all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back. Then you can go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and this time you're going to make 2 rounds of regular trinity stitches. So 2 rounds of a regular trinity stitch, which means that you're going to make your chain 1 and then repeat all the way around until you've completed 2 rounds, and then come back. So I finished 2 rounds of trinity, regular trinity stitches with a chain of 1. Now I'm going to slip stitch my top of my hat closed. So you're going to take and skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops for a slip stitch. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way around until you've closed the top of the hat. And then once the top of the hat is closed, then you can finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your hat. Then you just take your tapestry needle, put it onto the loose yarn end, and then just bring it right down the center of the hat into the wrong side of the hat, and then you can turn your hat inside out. Go ahead and take your tapestry needle and you're going to bury any of your loose yarn ends. To do that, you just take and weave your tapestry needle through the inside of the hat. And I like to go a couple of different directions and just weave it right through the inside of the hat. So go ahead, bury any of your loose yarn ends and then come back. For the pom-pom, I used my Clover pom-pom maker. It makes it really easy to make your pom-pom, and this device just opens up in the center. To start with, you just take whatever yarn you're using for the pom-pom and then take it and place it along the side and then just wrap it around, covering one of the arches. Then when you're finished with your pom-pom, you just take and remove the two edges, and then you have a cute little pom-pom that I'm going to place onto my hat. With the right side facing out, I just take and place the pom-pom on the tip of the hat. And then you can tie a knot on the inside. This hat can work on one of your jelly jars. So it would be a cute gift. You just tie a ribbon right around the jelly jar. This hat will also work on your Santa Claus doll. This is what it looks like with a cute little bow around the bottom of it.